Okay, guys, welcome to, this is exciting because it's a new month, but it's also obviously a brand new year, and this is our first team call for 2019. It's Monday, January 7th. So if you are here or you're going to be listening to the recording later, I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here with the rest of us and to dedicate to your business. And I'm super excited because we have an awesome guest speaker to chat with us tonight, and I'm reading from my phone, so forgive me. But we have Kelsey Crosson. Am I saying that right? How am I saying that?
Crosson.
Okay, that's a lot easier actually. Okay, cool. So Kelsey and I connected as I had connected with some of the other guests on our team calls through like a push to elite type of group for the Northeast coaches. And so she and I kind of just connected, and we thought, it'd be a great idea to swap calls. Kelsey is the founder of Team Ride or Die. I love that. That's awesome. The next thing is awesome too. Chronic quitter to gold digger. Chronic quitter to gold digger. She's a one-star qualifying coach. She's helped 2 personally sponsored coaches get to Diamond so far this year, which is incredible since it's January 7th. Success Club 5 I skipped one. Success Club 5 legend, meaning she has gotten Success Club 5 consistently or higher, I should say, Success Club 5 or higher consistently for 24 months in a row. That's 2 years. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star, meaning she's gotten Success Club 10 or higher for 12 months consistently in a row. And she's been coaching for 2.5 years. So, Kelsey, I will hand it over to you. Let me know if I messed up any of those things. But otherwise, we are so happy to have you here. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Thanks so much, girl. No, that's perfect. You did awesome. I'm going to start off by saying, excuse my hair. I've kind of taken on this like Mulan hairstyle with it growing out. So
I like it.
So I'll start off by telling you guys a little bit more about me. I'm from Northeastern Connecticut, recently engaged, and I have a 10-year-old son. So I have a lot going on all the time. And when I started this business, it was crazier, honestly. I was working full time. I own a photography business. So I wasn't one of these people that like had time to do something else. But I had hit a really low in life, and I needed a change. I had just gotten out of like a super toxic relationship, and there was just all kinds of things going through my mind at that moment. And like most of us, or I should say, I got into this for the business opportunity, so I'm not going to say that's like most of us, but like most of us, I was scrolling through Facebook when I sort of happened upon this opportunity. And there was just something in the way that this girl was speaking that spoke to me. And I was like, part of like so much of me was still in this mentality where I was just like, scam. There's no way this girl's that happy. There's no way that this girl is making money helping people. That's just not a thing, right? So then I scrolled past it and something brought me back to it because I'm like, are you serious, Kelsey? Like, look at where you are in life right now. Who are you and how are you going to judge this person for literally like her happiness was emanating. And I think that a lot of us have been in the position where we've reached out to our coach or whatnot from seeing that, right? Like, it's like, oh my gosh, I want what they have. So I ended up just taking a chance and reaching out to her. And I was one of those like dream coaches, just instantly had no idea what it was about, but I was like, I'm all in. I need to change. I'm going to do this. Like, I don't even care what's going on in my life. I'm going to make this work. And I'm the least athletic human on the face of this planet. Like, I did cheerleading a little bit in middle school, and I tried track in high school and failed miserably. So when I realized that, like, I'm like, oh, damn, I have to, like, actually, like, work out to, like, show people that this works. And I did 21-day fix. I lost 13 pounds in 3 weeks. I was sold. I was like, yes, this is amazing. I wanted to, like, shout it from the rooftops. I was kissing my Shakeology cup. I was, like, doing all of the things that, like, you're not supposed to do. But my coach that I started with is not my coach now. My coach that I started with, we kind of like, she outgrew the business. She just decided that it wasn't for her, but I was like running with it. I didn't want to slow down. So Haley Christian inherited me as a coach, who is one of the best people in the world that you could have be your upline. That's when I really started gaining mentorship and being able to turn this into a viable business. But it hasn't always been, I haven't always been running with it. Like you heard Brooke say, I've been doing this for 2.5 years and I'm 1-star qualifying, and so much of me is like, oh my gosh, I should be so much further. But at the same time, I know all of this momentum that I put in and how far I'm going to go this year. So I realized that it took a lot for me to come to the realization that I needed to do the work and not just say the things, right? So the premise of this call is, do your actions match your mouth? Like, are you actually doing the things, or are you just saying you're doing the things? Or are you just saying you want these things, but you don't know what it entails to get there? Because for the longest time, I heard all of these things being thrown out. And as a brand new coach, or as just a coach in general, sometimes you hear like Elite, Premier, the Million Club, and all of these things that just sound really cool. And you're like, yes, those people are doing great. I want that. And that's all that you have in your head. But I never actually dove into figuring out, okay, I want that, but what is it going to take for me to get there? So I was one of those people that I would talk the talk, but I wasn't walking the walk. And I can guarantee you that if you're walking the walk, you don't have to talk the talk. That's not a thing that you'll have to do. So set big goals, have delusional optimism, be like ready to absolutely like, say that you want all of these things, but make sure that your actions are matching that. Make sure that you're showing up every single day and you're being consistent and you're doing the vitals. Sorry guys, I get on these rants, so like if I go off on like a tangent, then you can just like type squirrel in the chat or something. I'll bring it back in real quick. But so are you doing the vitals? 90% of the time there's a coach that one of the vitals you're lacking or slacking in. So what is yours? Like, what is the one that like you struggled really hard with, and what do you think you can do to fix that? So we all know the vitals. They're invite, be proof of the product, personal development, recognizing. Are you doing all of those things, or are you doing some of them? And I will tell you that like 80% of the time, if one of my coaches comes to me and they're like, Kelsey, like I have this really great picture and I don't know like what to post with it. And I'm like, did you read today? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, dude, if you aren't inspired, you're not going to be inspiring. Like, where do you think that you're going to draw your inspiration from? It comes from reading. And I hear so many people say these things, and that's all it takes, really. And if you're not connecting with your personal development, put it down and pick up something else, guys. If somebody suggested a book to you and you're not connecting with it and you can't get into it, don't feel like, oh my gosh, this person loves this book and I don't, there's something wrong with me. No, it's not your time. There's so many different books that I've picked up and I've thought like, wow, this is going to be the book for me, and I haven't connected with it. Let it go and pick it up at a later date. Find something else. Like, find personal development that is going to align with what your struggle is. What are you struggling with right now? So, Randy said posting and inviting are the two that you struggle with most. So you might need a new personal development book to really dive deep into and connect with. Because again, though, that's really where you're going to draw a ton of your inspiration. I should probably read these after, because I will like go off on a whole another thing. So, so anyways, don't like worry so much about if you're not into a book, right? Just get ready to like pick up another book. Like Brooke said, Audible is perfect because you can get a ton of free books. So vitals, consistency, showing up on social media every single day. That's one thing that's been drilled into my brain from the get-go. The only time that I've ever missed a day on social media was when I was overseas and one of my apps to like plan out my posts didn't post when it was supposed to, and that was one day. So there's no excuse. You have so many resources. You have so many things that you can plan out. You don't have to physically be attached to your phone 24/7. If you have like a posting schedule, then lay out your post for the week. And if you have like a really great idea for a post, but you're looking at your algorithms or you're figuring out your insights on Instagram and you're like, oh my gosh, this is such a good post, but like it's 1:00 on a Wednesday and now's not a good time to post it. Save it for another time, guys. You don't have to post it right at that moment. So I'm gonna just like take this and like kind of go another direction with it a little bit. With what I've been doing that has helped me with being consistent and having those conversations, like inviting, that's another thing that a lot of people struggle with, because it's like, oh my gosh, what if they say no? Or what are these people going to think of me if I reach out to them and I say this? Like, once you hit send on that message, your world is not going to explode. Nothing's going to change. You will still be right where you are right now. Your ego might be a little bit hurt for a second, but if you realize like, okay, a no means not right now, and eventually if I keep just continuing a friendship with this person and being genuinely interested in their life and checking in and following up every now and then, they might come too. Guys, fortune is in the follow-up, and I don't mean that lightly. And actually, Carl said it on the National Wake Up Call this morning, which was kind of ironic because this was part of what I wanted to talk about today. But it's not going to be instant always. And he said that a lot of the coaches that he talks to, if they've sent out a share cart and he's said, oh, they've said within the past 48 hours this person signed up, it hasn't taken 48 hours for them to say yes. It's taken 12 to 18 months. Within that time frame, 12 to 18 months for them to finally be like, yes, let's do it. You send out the share cart and they enroll. And I've experienced this so hard. I've been coaching for a little over 2.5 years now. And I have people that I have been talking to since I first started coaching that are just now starting to sign up. So it kind of stinks to say that, but sometimes it takes talking to these people for a really long time because they want to see that you're not going anywhere. They want to see that you're not going to be the next Beachbody coach that's going to fall off and not respond to them and not coach them. That's not what they want. You need to prove to them, I'm here for good. I'm willing to help you change your world. Are you willing to like trust in me and go with this? So you need to follow up constantly. And there's 2 different ways that I tend to have conversations. And this has helped me a lot with consistency. Obviously, we've said, personal development is huge. Recognition is huge. Being proof of the product is huge. Guys, if you haven't had a transformation in a while, change something, okay? Like if you need to stop drinking alcohol or hone in on your meal plan like crazy, or just switch things up so that you get brand new results, then make a sacrifice and do it. I had hit a plateau, so I decided a couple months ago that I was going to go hard on insanity. I didn't drink alcohol for 60 days. I stuck to the meal plan. I got crazy results, and it helped my business like kind of revamp. So anyways, the 2 different ways I invite is I will either do a pretty direct invite, and these kind of contradict each other, so bear with me for a minute. I'll either do a pretty direct invite, but if I'm gonna do a direct invite, it has to be somebody that is like all up in my page, like somebody that is watching my stories, is consistently liked or commented on my photos, and I will reach out to them and I will say something along the lines of, hey, thanks so much for watching me, or, which sounds so creepy, and I usually insert that somewhere because they think it's funny. Thanks so much for watching me. Like, I really appreciate the support. Are you interested in what I do health or fitness wise? Fitness or business wise? And I always say both, because you never know what the person on the other end is thinking. If they are just watching you because they think you're funny and they want to see your workout moves, or they just like your energy, or if they've been watching you because you've been talking about the business opportunity and they want to know what the hell it is that you do. It could be either or. So I always leave that open-ended for them to tell me, you know, fitness or business or both. And that works out really well because then I start having a full conversation with them. Sometimes they just say, no, I'm just supporting, because I do say thanks for the support. No, I'm just supporting, like, love what you do, you're inspiring. I'm like, okay, cool. Kind of continue the conversation a little bit. The second way, and like I said, that's for everybody that watches my story, everybody that likes my photos or comments on them. The second way is I will actually like have a full-out conversation with them. And this is generally like when I end up going through followers, and I kind of like play it by ear, guys, but this is usually when I'm going through followers, or when I get new followers, I send out a message that says, hey, thanks so much for the follow. Hope you enjoy the content on my page. I kind of like get a little bit more into like me and my story, and how I made the decision 2.5 years ago that changed my life. And then I leave that open-ended with, tell me, love making new friends, #better together. Tell me a little bit more about you, ? So they can say, people love talking about themselves, if you guys haven't figured this out yet. So when you ask them about them, get ready, because you are going to become a psychiatrist. No, I'm just kidding. But you are going, like, their feelings will be unleashed, and they will tell you all about them. Some people won't answer, and that's totally fine. Don't like take offense to it. If they don't answer, I guarantee they'll be some of the ones starting to watch your story, because they're like, wait, like, who is this girl and what is she doing? Why is she messaging me? So just more eyes on you. That's always good. It's always a good thing. So those are the two ways that I go about it. And then I get like way more into the conversation once they tell me about them. Then I get to start talking with them. Guys, 90% of the time when I tell them about me and they respond, they say something about fitness anyways, because I say something about fitness in that thanks for the follow message. So they'll be like, oh, I'm trying to like get back on track with my health, you know, or I'm super into fitness, whatever it is. That's where you can like gauge the conversation and continue to move forward. And then ask a lot of questions, a ton of questions, because you don't want to like word vomit everything that you have available for them to use as a resource. You want them to know that you're taking into consideration everything that they're telling you, and you have a recommendation to help solve their problem. So not just like, oh my gosh, like, thanks so much for messaging me back. Just so you know, I hold an online boot camp and blah, 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 blah. Like, do not do that, please. Just like take a few minutes and just listen to what they said. And then, oh my gosh, you're a single mom of 2. Cool. And you're like you work full time and you love running. That's awesome. But you don't have time to run anymore. Let me tell you a little bit about what I do. Then you can actually like troubleshoot the situation and be like, you know, as moms, we don't put ourselves first all the time. We tend to take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves. It's just kind of like in our nature. But in order to fill our own cups, in order to be the best that we can be, it's not being selfish, it's being selfless if we're taking care of ourselves first. So like I hold a boot camp with this network of amazing women. It takes, 20 to 30 minutes a day to get in a good workout. You get to tell her like all about how you think she would benefit from what you do and why. And it's genuine, and you're connecting with her and you're talking with her and you're really getting to say, like, just based on what you're telling me, I think that this would be best for you. Like if she loves running, then a HIIT workout would probably be better than setting her up with Body Beast, right? So think about that. And if you guys are like, if anybody is so new that you don't know exactly what you want to set this person up with, then talk to your coach and they'll help you come up with a program to set them up with. But those are just like, a few different ways that I like to go about things. I just think that the biggest piece here, guys, is auditing your business and where you're at. Auditing, like, okay, what did I accomplish last year and what do I want to accomplish this year? So maybe like look at your Instagram and look at your Instagram just from My son just texted me from his iPad and said, "You're my whole world. Love you." He's in the other room. Cutest. But anyways, look at your Instagram like this, just this piece, right? Like this piece right here, and go to that and think, would I follow myself? Just think that for a minute. Would I follow myself? Maybe even screenshot that and send it to your coach, or send it to another friend that you have in the business and say, "Hey, what do you think about my Instagram? Where do you think or tell them to go look at your page. Where do you think I can improve? What do you think I can change? What should I do to be better?" Same thing with your business goals. Think about, what was your income last year? What would you like your income to be this year? And how are you going to improve that? So this is where it all comes down to, like, do your actions match your mouth? Are you just saying you want to make another 10 grand this year? Or are you going to figure out how to do it? Have you looked into the road to elite qualifications? Like, there's so many different brand new things coming out that you need to, like, be on in order to, like, be ready for all of these upcoming changes. Change is, like, indefinite. It's always going to happen. So you need to be, like, willing and ready to learn and get with the times, because it's never going to be the same that it was last year. So have you checked into the road to elite qualifications? Have you, like, what is your goal? Have you talked to your coach about your goals? If you haven't, have you set up a call with your coach to talk about your goals? Do you have this, like, new Success Club system tracker that Carl talked about today printed out? Because this is actually, like, a really good resource as well. There's so many different things that are happening this year. So, like, get ready, hold on, and just, like, be ready for these changes and be on top of it to align with your goals and to make these changes. Sorry. That sheet is...
I've definitely heard about it, to be honest, but it's been one of those things that I was like, yeah, maybe some other time. But I should definitely print it.
I can totally send it to you. I thought that it was in the Beachbody Champions page, but I think that Haley also posted it in our team page. There you go.
Alex, is this it? Yeah?
Yeah, I downloaded it earlier.
You're the best.
I mean, I haven't printed it yet. We have to print it.
Yeah. So, Kelsey, Liz, is this what you were talking about the other day? Yeah. So, okay, so this is what he suggested you print, like, 52 copies and bind it, and yeah. Okay, sorry, you can tell I'm a little bit behind the times here. Okay, try and play catch up. Okay, cool. So, Kelsey, are you using this, like, religiously?
I mean, I haven't yet, because literally I just printed it out today as well. For me, as far as my tracking system, I know that a ton of people are, like, all about Google Streak. It hasn't, like, worked with my brain yet, so I'm just not one of those people that is really good at that. I have used my connection builder for tracking, but that's just me. There's a million different things that you can use for, like, tracking your, like, instead of this on the back, I will use my connection builder, but the front piece I will absolutely use.
Yeah.
So no, I have not, like, been super into that yet. It's just one of the brand new things that I saw today, and I was like, wow, this is actually, like, legit. It's not just one of the usual. I feel like sometimes corporate stuff, you're like, meh.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I put it in the back of my brain, like, I need to figure that out.
And especially for newer coaches, this will definitely help keep you, like, on task and making sure that you're getting the things that you need to get done.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're doing for getting the year started right, is it's called a Mastermind to Success group, but basically we have, like, a poll of your daily checklist. So our girls will, like, go in and mark off the poll as they complete it, and that's super helpful and helps hold a lot of people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, again, a million different ways that can happen, obviously, but it's just finding what works for you. And guys, know that, like, what works for somebody else isn't necessarily going to work for you. In this business, it really is a ton of trial and error and figuring all of that out. But I hope that you got something from that, because those are just like the two ways that I go about conversations. And if another thing that I will say is, if you don't get a response, don't like be so embarrassed and be like, oh my gosh, they didn't respond, I can never talk to them again. Please, because I used to do that in the past. I used to do that, and sometimes they really just saw it and they were busy. Like, everybody does that. They see a message, they're busy, so they don't respond. And then by the time, so I always send a follow-up message like, hey girls, you still watching me? Not sure if you saw my last message. I know life gets crazy sometimes, with like one of these emojis, like ... And then like they almost feel obligated to answer, because it's like kind of creepy that you're still watching me, but you haven't answered my message, and I see that you saw what I said. So, and then I have so many responses from that. They're either like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I was so busy, or, you know, oh yeah, I did see your message, I just got sidetracked, or yeah, I saw your message, I'm just not interested. Then you finally like get an answer. But I have had several people still sign up from like moving on from that. I've had several people that have signed up and, you know, they had some excuse as to why they didn't respond the first time I messaged. So follow up always.
That's awesome. I totally agree. Does anybody have any questions? I know people have questions. No, I'm glad that you brought that to my attention, for Carl's tracker, because otherwise I would have totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, there's totally so many trackers out there, but I really do think that that's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the idea of the poll for accountability for like business stuff, because a lot of us have used polls for accountability like in our boot camps and stuff, but that's a really neat idea to use it like for business tracker too. I like that. Christina says, any tips for finding builders? That's what I feel like we're always struggling with that.
I feel like that's for sure a struggle that everyone has, but I mean, myself included. I will say that a super helpful thing is to go through hashtags that are things that you're interested in, and just look for people that you feel like, oh my gosh, that's the person I would totally vibe with. I want them on my team. And start having genuine conversation with them. You know, I'm like a strong believer in your vibe attracts your tribe, but they're not always going to come to you. Sometimes you need to find them, and being able to just let go of your insecurities and reach out. And I mean, you can go, it depends on your personality. You can go about it several ways, but you can say like, hey, I think you'd be amazing at what I do. I'd love if you coached with me. Like, you could be direct, or you can start a friendship. It depends on like how you think they'll respond to it. But don't ever feel like if you do one thing or the other and they don't respond, there's no coming back from it. Again, you can like continue to have a conversation.
Love that. I know, it's so hard. It's like you just want more people on your team that want it as bad as you do.
I know, seriously.
You know, I think we all want, obviously all of us who are here on this call are serious about our business and all want that.
And I'm sure that you guys, I mean, who's going to Boston Super Saturday?
I am. Where are you from? We already talked about this.
Connecticut. Yeah, I'll be there. Yes.
You get the Boston one?
Yeah.
How come?
I always go to the Boston one. Like half of my team is from Plymouth, Mass. So.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I know a bunch of us will be there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you guys will definitely hear Keith Callahan speak, and he's my upline. And, you know, he always talks about finding your five.
Yeah.
Finding 5 people that are willing to work just as hard as you are. And you guys will hear him speak this weekend and have a whole, you know, new fire lit under your ass. And he just came out with his brand new book. So I highly suggest.
Yeah.
It's really good. I highly suggest ordering that on Amazon. But he talks about, you know, creating leaders and becoming a leader of leaders and developing a team of teams. And he's amazing at speaking on that. So I really do highly recommend his new book, Build to Last. It was just released on Amazon today, not to just like create a whole little, you know.
I posted about it in our group today, actually, because our like super upline is, I think they used to be accountability partners, or they're pretty close. So Patrick Rillman is our upline. So yeah, we know of Keith. He's awesome. He's a really great guy. So yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to read his book. I'm going to read T is for Transformation. Have you read that one yet? Shaun T's book?
I haven't. No, I have heard about it though. I've heard it's really good.
We're going to do it during like our Transform 20 like coach group, and then I'm going to read Keith's.
That's super smart.
Yeah.
His book is definitely has a lot of resources in it for sure.
Yeah.
As far as, like developing leaders and stuff. So
nice. Okay, cool. Although I could probably do two at the same time, because I'm going to listen to Shaun because it's him speaking it. So I feel like I want to really listen to that one, and then I could read Keith's at the same time. So
I feel like it's probably, you know, like Shaun's is more of like motivation and Keith's
related, like business. Yeah, I love that. That's a really good idea. I'm gonna go buy it.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. And Kelsey, I appreciate you taking the time to share with us. That was awesome.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Tomorrow. Thank you. Bye, guys.